Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube fam? This is Samuel Legge here representing TeamJVS, here to give you guys a review for Silent Night 2021 film. This film actually debuted at TIFF 2021. Our very own Lucas was able to actually review it. This is our second review, a little bit more spoilers here or there, because it's been out for some time, and it's available right now on Blu-ray. I have at the very end of this review that you guys go and check out a little bit of that box art. But this is starring Keira Knightley, Matthew Goode, Roman Griffin Davis from Jojo Rabbit, Soap Distru from a very good show on AMC. That literally, I think the second season is about to show up, and you definitely want to check it out, and that's The Gangs of London, as well as a slew of other actors. But the backdrop of this is really that this family has decided to have, you know, Christmas together, knowing full well that their imminent death is on the horizon. So it's kind of like the backdrop of this is kind of like a disaster flick, kind of, but they try to make it really wholesome and light. But you can tell very quickly with tone, a little bit of blood here or there, that things are not as though they seem. And you find out the backdrop is that some kind of a way poisonous gas is coming like a storm, and anybody that's in contact with the poisonous gas, they will proceed to not only bleed from every vital organ, but they will presumably die. And there's an out that the UK has come up with, an out, but what they could do is take a pill and, you know, take their own life so they wouldn't have to deal with the suffering aspect of it. So I'm going to kind of break down some things I like, some things I didn't like, but I'm just going to kind of go as an overarching thing. This was directed by Camille Griffin, first directorial debut, first written film as well, major film. I love the cinematography. I think the cinematography is actually really beautiful. Like, there were some really good orchestrated scores as well. Like, I think that they chose some really good actors for really good shots. Because the movie itself, tonally, it keeps to the same exact tone, same beaten path, but technically it also makes fun of a lot of it. It almost seems like a parody at times. They try to make very light of a situation, but really it's the internal struggles of the actual people. And I think that they were able to capture that with a lot of very face emotions. And also just allowing the characters to be unapologetically themselves, like, for better or for worse. Like, I think that certain characters really didn't get fully developed, but I'll get into some of those things as far as negative. But as far as the look of this, it looked really well, as well as also the storm. Like, the atmosphere of what's going on with the storm, budget is not really high, but it was enough for me to be like, okay, I see where this is headed and where this is actually going. The standouts for me as far as the actors are concerned, I think that Roman Griffin Davis, and actually I would say Lily Rose Depp and Soap Distru were the standouts. They were the three standouts because I felt like their characters, they were there, but they also weren't. Like, they were coming up with real concepts. Like, Soap's character James was a doctor. Like, he's a cancer doctor, so he knew a lot of the stuff that he'd seen, all the worst case scenarios. Whereas Lily Rose Depp, who's Sophie, who's his wife, she's pregnant, and she's like, I'm not taking this pill. And then you got Roman Griffin Davis that plays the role of Art, and he's the son of you know, Keira Knightley and Matthew Goode, and you could tell very quickly that he's not like his two younger brothers, and he's not like anybody else. Like, he's like researching, he's looking, he's like, no, I can't allow yourself to do this. There's a scene with him, Keira Knightley, and Matthew Goode in a van where they really break down, like, this is how they really feel about some stuff. And like, he was like, he confronted them. He was like, you're killing me. I don't want to do this, and I will not forgive you for what you allowing this to happen. There's another similar picture, I cannot remember the name of it though, where this girl, she basically goes to and marries into this family and find out the family are psychopaths, and they try to kill her and sacrifice her in the hunt. And, you know, it does remind me a little bit of that. But generally speaking, I think the actors did a pretty good job. It's weird, like, Keira Knightley did a really good job as Nell, but there was no payoff to her. Like, I think that Matthew Goode got a really good moment at a car with Roman Griffith Davis's character, like when something they saw outside, and his reaction to that. Both of their reactions to that were really stellar. I thought they did a really good job with that. There's also some love triangles going on here and there to play with comedy, and also like these people are thinking that their world is literally about to end, so they're like, well, screw it, let's go all in and tell exactly how they feel about everything. But the weird thing about this is, like, a character, like I said, with Keira Knightley, such a great, talented actress. Her character really doesn't have a good payoff, because towards the back half, the movie this is where there's a transitional moment where it's like, okay, this is evident. This is what's really happening. We're getting to this point. And I started to feel that feeling when I saw Titanic. Saw Titanic for the very first time, and when Rose and Leo's character are on, the plank of wood, and it's freezing outside, right? And you're just kind of like, man, you're just waiting for them to die, presumably. At the time, first time you see it, you're thinking, maybe somebody might live, somebody might not. Are they gonna get both found? Like, that's the feeling that this movie, from the second half to the third half, you started to really start to feel it. Like, you start to feel and take in all the ramifications with it. Even with the characters that were being really obnoxious and really just randomly funny for no reason. Like, there was some real stuff. Like, even, like I said, Lily Rose Depp's character, like, she's pregnant. She's like, I'm not going to sacrifice my baby. I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to allow this to happen. And what happens in the third act is there's not a point to what happens. Like, there's an action that happens that I was suspecting would happen, but instead of like there being like a real point to it, instead they're kind of like, oh, payoff, boom, literally boom. And I'm like, if you would have pulled back from a shock value standpoint and really kind of streamlined this to being like, okay, these people are making a committed decision not to do this or to doing that, then the outcome of this movie would have been fundamentally different. And I think that also it would have changed the whole perception of it, because a lot of the things that are happening, like Art's character is kind of like questioning why this is happening, who knows what's really going on, kind of thing. And they could have made a very interesting, like the character Alex, they don't do anything with Alex at all. Like, she's just wasted. I would say, like, even like the character Bella, like, it's kind of like a throwaway character. Kitty, same thing. Like, some of the characters' things that they do, their mannerisms, their tales, like, there's no point to any of them at all. And I think that's the thing that hurts this movie the most, is that the payoff towards the end is not merited to why the ride even happened from the very beginning. Like, I think if certain things towards the end would have changed, just small little things, like with certain characters, and they just said, let's ride it out. Because, like, they showed how certain things were about to play out, and I was like, okay, I see where this is going. But instead, they're like, oh, shock value. And it just does a disservice, unfortunately, to the overarching success of the things that I actually really liked and the way they were building towards. And it would have made this so much more of a serious impact. And there's another movie that kind of did something similar that I didn't like the way that it actually ended as well, as much as I thought it was a really powerful moment, and that was Don't Look Up. Same similar situation that I just did not like the way that turned out. So with that, I'd rest this at a 5.5, 6 out of 10. I give it a 6 out of 10. It was very entertaining. I think there was some really good actors in this. And the setup was really good. It was literally like somebody throwing an alley-oop ready to dunk it, and it just did not go and clunch in, unfortunately. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Definitely go and check out my other co-host, Lucas's review. I'll make sure I'll link that towards that right after you see what's about to come from this, and a little bit of the box art of what Silent Night is available right now. If you definitely want to check it out, it's also going to be available on demand, as well as digital streaming as well at some point. I'll talk to you guys soon. Keep it locked. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. I'll talk to you guys. Peace, guys. Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Sammy Legge here representing Team JVS. This is just a post-credit part of our review for Silent Night. This is an unboxing of the current Blu-ray version of Silent Night that's available as of March 8th, 2022. I'll show you a little bit of the cover art on the back here, all the different cast members. Let's go ahead and kind of open this up so you guys can see what we got inside here. And yeah, just wanted to be able to show you guys this, and hopefully you guys did enjoy the review. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button. We got a lot more coming, and hopefully you guys enjoy both of our reviews for Silent Night. Take care, guys.
Filing out the top of the I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord.